Kyle, Marcus Thompson with The Athletic. You've played with Draymond, Team USA. You've played against him for years. And you two kind of have a similar disposition as far as like toughness and grind. When you just look at Draymond's career, what do you appreciate about what he's become, and what similarities kind of do you see in yourself?
The work that he's put in. You know, coming into the league, you know, people who said he was undersized this or not, you know, good at that. But he was worked at it. You know, they said he was out of shape, and he got in shape. He got his body right. He improved his jump shooting, improved his conditioning. He always had the toughness, you know, because coming from where he's from, you know, you got to be tough. But for him, I just, you know, just to respect that, how much work you actually got to put in to be a good NBA player, you know, all defensive type player, you know, a defensive player of the year, a champion. You know, he's put the work in, and you know, that's the thing about him is he's put all that work in.
Same area.
I'm sorry. Kyle Paulintunas, ESPN Brazil. In past playoff performances, past playoffs, sometimes you've been criticized about your play in the playoffs. Getting to the finals, do you feel like there's a little bit of vindication for you there?
No. You know, for me, it's all about winning. And, you know, when you get to the point where you made it to the finals, you won, but, you know, you still got more to do. So getting here doesn't, you know, do anything but getting here. We still want to try to win this.
Did anything change for you, confidence-wise, or this year in the playoffs?
No, I've been the same. As long as we win games, I can not score at all. If we win, I don't care. As long as we win games.
Left side on the road back, fifth row, Josh.
Josh Lewenberg, TSN. Kyle, Masai was speaking earlier about the conversation that you guys had just before the trade deadline, how important that was just in terms of clearing the air. What did that conversation mean to you?
Just kind of get on the same page, understanding that what he wanted from me and what he expected from me, and just kind of being on the same page. It wasn't, you know, anything negative. It was just, you know, let's get on the same page so we can make this run, you know, because he believes in what we could do as a team. So that was the biggest thing, just get on the same page.
Right side, fifth row.
Kyle, you're one of the few guys on the team that played with Alfonso McKinney last year.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about him, and could you have predicted him to have the season, really the postseason that he's had?
Unbelievable kid, man. Great guy, always laughing, always joking, but seriously hard worker. Always trying to make sure he gets better, making sure he can do whatever he takes to get better. And I couldn't predict it, but I know how hard he would play. I knew how athletic he would be, and he has the mindset to just go out there and do whatever it takes to win. So, you know, I'm happy for him.
Any particular moment, instance that you can remember of him that sticks out?
Nah, not really.
One row behind on the right side, Tim.
Kyle, Tim Reynolds with the Associated Press. I'm curious if you'll indulge and just go way, way back. What are some of the lessons that Jay taught you back at Nova about leadership, quarterbacking, all those things that still hold true for you today, that you still sort of apply today?
I think the one thing Jay is always we never talked about basketball. We talked about life and being a legit person, you know, always just, you know, making sure that you're just upfront. You take everything on the chin. You be legit. If you make a mistake, apologize. Kind of just, you know, accept everything. Accept everything as a man and bounce back from it. If anything negative, just bounce back, take it, and keep going. And I think those are things that, you know, stick with me today. I'd never shy from anything. I never shy from negative criticism, constructive criticism. I take it all. I understand it, learn from it, digest it, and move on.
Second row on the right to Greg.
Kyle, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Draymond recently called himself the best defender of all time. Wondering what you think of that, and where Kawhi ranks on that list, and why.
I think he's one of the best defenders at his position. I think Draymond's got a Defensive Player of the Year, so that's important. I think Kawhi's definitely up there for sure.
How would you compare them, and what makes them each so great on defense?
Just the anticipation. I think the anticipation they have, the physicality that they bring. I think just the toughness that they bring on both ends. They both have long arms, big hands, understanding where they need to be on the floor and how to help teammates. And then on the ball, you know, the relentless pressure.
Two more questions. Fifth row on the right.
Dan Feldman, NBC Sports. You've been through a lot in your career. You've accomplished a lot in your career before making it to the finals. How did all of that prepare you for this?
just through my life in general, coming from where I'm coming from. You know, this is basketball. No pressure, it's just basketball.
There was a point in your career where you're trying to solidify yourself as a starter, as a star. Do you feel like it's a different approach? Obviously, you always wanted to win, but do you feel like it's a different approach you can take now toward winning that you've established yourself?
I've always just wanted to win. Different approach. My approach was always to play hard and do everything as hard as I possibly can to whatever it takes to win games. And that was the most important thing that I've always done, is just do whatever it takes to win games.
Final question, left side in the back to Greg.
Kyle, you seem to be developing a really good chemistry with Kawhi on the court. Can you talk about off the court? Have you developed a relationship there as well, and what that relationship is like? What is he like away from the court?
Me and him, we're together a lot. You know, I mean, as a team, you know, we're always together. Me and him have developed a relationship off the floor. He's a great guy. You know, he's just a regular guy, just like everyone. He's just a regular guy, like everybody. You know, everybody else. He's not this. He's not that. He's just a regular, cool dude.
Fun guy.
He's a fun guy.
Hi, Nick. Dan Wecke, Los Angeles Times. There was a play, I think, in Game 6 where Kyle dove for a loose ball twice on the same play. Is that kind of emblematic as to what he does for this team in winning possessions and all that stuff? I think Masai earlier called him the leader of the team. And do you feel that he's sort of the heartbeat here?
Well, I think for sure, you know, he's been probably the leader, you know, since we got here. And again, he's a natural kind of leading type personality. He plays the point guard position. He plays a tough brand of basketball, so that's leading by example, the way you play that way. And you know, the possession you're talking about, you could go back and find a few of those. I think Game 5 or Game 4, I can't remember which one, down in Orlando. He got a rebound late in the game in a one-possession game that kind of sealed the win. It might have been 2 rebounds, again in the same possession in that thing, and not unlike, you know, Kawhi getting a big offensive rebound in Game 6 here against Milwaukee. So he makes a lot of tough plays, takes charges, blocks out a lot of bigger people, and he does lead by example.
Third row on the left, John.
Coach, John Schumann, NBA.com. How much will your defensive success in this series sort of go beyond the game plan and into your players' ability to react and sort of adapt on the fly and even communicate with each other on the fly?
Remains to be seen, obviously, but I think, you know, just looking back at the series we've played, I think there's been a lot of, you know, I wouldn't say some of the adjustments we made were done, you know, really on the fly, right? Some of that communication that you're talking about that maybe wasn't the exact coverage we were in or coverage we wanted to be in, where somebody would communicate, like you just said, communicate a different deal, a switch or a non-switch or whatever it would be, and just make the next play. And I think against this team, I think against most teams in the NBA, you gotta play that way, especially this time of year. So I would imagine that we're gonna be encountering a few issues, and you're gonna have to figure them out, and maybe a help defender is gonna have to save you at the end, or a help the helper defender may have to save you, or whatever. But you know, that's you know, defensive stuff starts with a willingness to want to play it, and then a great IQ to want to do it, and then like you said, communication.
Second row on the right to Mark.
Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Mark.
The other day, Draymond Green went on the record and called himself the best defender ever. I'm wondering what you think and how he compares to one of your guys, Kawhi Leonard, and what it is that makes Kawhi the elite defender that he is.
Well, I would say that both those guys are in the same discussion, right? I always think that there's always a discussion of some guys, and they're right there, and I would say both of them. First of all, you got some physical abilities, you know, some God-given abilities. You got some size, speed, athleticism, quickness. And then you go to the next part of it is, and I always keep saying this, you got a tremendous desire and pride to stop people, right, and make plays and want to infuse your team with enthusiasm to play defense. What was the second part of your question again? Yeah, a lot, and a lot of those things. I think Kawhi again takes a lot of pride in being a two-way player, and that's again really where it starts. You got to want to do it, and then again he's got some IQ. He's got really good body and athleticism. He's got these really big hands that get in there and snatch the ball away sometimes. And I always say that probably impresses me about him more than anything is when he, the scoring's great and the big baskets are great and all that stuff. But when he makes up his mind to impact a play on the defensive end, and next thing you know, he's got the ball coming the other way and getting maybe a transition bucket. Those are huge momentum plays.
Sixth row on the left to Jeff.
Jeff Zilgett, USA Today. Nick, you've coached in England. You've coached small college ball, G League. What about those experiences prepared you for this, your first NBA head coaching job? And along the way, was there ever a moment that you wondered if it would break your way and you would get to where you wanted to go?
Well, first of all, I think like my goal early in becoming a head coach so young was to find out if I could do it. I just wanted to see if I could be a good head coach and then start learning from head coaching. So all those stops of, I don't know how many years it was, 18, 20 years of being a head coach in, some pretty remote places was still, I think, valuable learning experience for me from just, running and managing the team and being up in front of a team and preparing scouting reports and trying to figure out chemistry and lineups and schemes. Again, I used a lot of it as a testing ground. I remember one year we were a full court pressing team the entire game, and I just wanted to see what that system kind of netted or felt like. And again, like in RGV, we did a lot of testing of things, and it was just all really good, like laboratory, right? So I guess I recommend that, right? I recommend for any young coach that head coaching experience and being up in front of a team is important.
Second row, Eric Green.
Hey, Nick. Eric Green, The Athletic. Two-part question. First, I'm just curious if you have any memories of the game of Kawhi against the Warriors where he hurt himself, hurt his ankle. And the second part is, at what point or period of this season did you realize that the load management was really going according to plan and you might see the best that this guy has to offer?
I do have memories of that game. I watched the whole game. I think it was yesterday or the day before on tape. So I know it pretty well. It's pretty fresh in my mind.
Anything stand out to you?
Well, no, I'm just, again, I'm just trying to watch like I do, like any coach does. I'm just trying to watch coverages and things like that I, any things I can pick up that stuck out as far as the way they guarded him and who guarded him and all that kind of stuff. Just trying to gather as much information as you can. And the load management thing, first of all, I'd like to give a lot of credit to Alex McKechnie and his staff. They were, countless hours in preparation and really smart ideas and planning, really, on that to both physically and mentally get Kawhi to where he was able to start playing the way he wanted to play in the playoffs. When did I sense it? I just kind of started getting a feeling about it, and I don't know, after the All-Star break, February, March, I kind of kept thinking that he was holding back a little bit, or he was getting his 30 points, but it seemed like he wasn't extending a whole lot of effort some nights to do it. And I was looking and thinking there was another gear maybe coming. And then he said something to the effect of these first 82 are just practice. And then I thought, okay, then he's getting ready to he's getting ready to throw it in another gear here pretty soon.
Final question, right side, middle, Tim Reynolds.
Hey, Nick. Tim Reynolds with the AP. Another Kawhi defense question, but him on the offensive end. The Warriors have probably more guys than any other team in the league that can throw an elite body in front of them. They can throw Clay. They can throw Draymond. They're going to throw Andre. I think everybody expects that. How do you kind of anticipate them to defend him? And because he has such an innate knowledge of the defensive end of the floor, does that work to his advantage as an offensive player when he's facing another elite defender?
Well, I think first of all, I would say they're gonna probably do something similar to what we're gonna do. There's a lot of bodies that can guard a lot of different people, and I think you in a series are going to see a lot of different people, and plus in this game, which these guys probably have maybe, I don't know if they invented they brought the switching defense to prominence years ago. Then now that everybody's, so both teams are going to be switching a lot. So matchups naturally, ends up heck in one possession, 3 different guys are guarding a guy because there's screening going on. So I think both teams probably go in with the mindset of, okay, that's our ideal matchup, and your chance to play primary defender if you don't want to switch some stuff and keep a certain guy on him that's having good luck. And yeah, I just think, any of these guys in the league that are such great scorers, they see so many different schemes and defenses, and as the years tick by, they'll see switching, they'll see denials, they'll see double teams, they'll see, come after one dribble. They'll see all kinds of things that they get used to playing. And I would say probably their knowledge of defense translates to how they would defeat some of that stuff. Yeah.